Cody Rhodes returning to dethrone Roman Reigns. Best and worst of SmackDown. Two people have already resigned from WWE after Vince McMahon's return. Backstage update on the person playing Bray Wyatt's Uncle Howdy. Roman Reigns' astonishing record mocked. Roman Reigns disgusted by Sami Zayn. Let's jump right into our first story. Best and worst of SmackDown. The first episode of SmackDown of 2023 was a great one. It was the perfect way to start the year. Assuming Triple H stays in control of WWE Creative, SmackDown will be the show to watch in 2023. It wasn't a perfect episode, but there were far more bests than worsts. Here's a look at some of the ups and downs of the episode this week. Number 3. Best. Hit Row's big heel turn. Hit Row finally turned heel after Ricochet defeated Top Dollar. It was a much-needed move since fans haven't been big on Hit Row since their return to WWE last year. They have been considered among the most underwhelming superstars since returning in 2022, but this move gives fans genuine reason to hate Hit Row. They can get all the heat out, which will hopefully be the start of a great run on SmackDown. Number 2. Worst. A disappointing debut for Scarlett. Scarlett made her in-ring debut on SmackDown this week as she teamed up with her partner Karrion Kross to face the duo of Emma and Madcap Moss. It was a bit of a disappointing match that Kross won for his team after forcing Moss to submit in the Kross jacket. What was hilarious was that the announcer only mentioned Kross as the winner while omitting Scarlett's name. All in all, a disappointing debut match. Number 2. Best. The entire dynamic with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline on SmackDown. Sami Zayn felt like the main character on SmackDown this week. The show started with him getting berated by Roman Reigns as the tribal chief teased betraying him. However, in what is a first since the summer of 2020, Roman Reigns genuinely apologized to Sami Zayn, indicating what his value truly is. However, the real test is next week when Zayn faces Kevin Owens, who was confirmed to be Reigns' Royal Rumble opponent. If Sami Zayn loses, we will likely see the betrayal happen sooner rather than later. Number 1. Worst. A disappointing match for Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has seemingly replaced Ronda Rousey on SmackDown as she dethroned her last week. This week, she faced the formidable Sonya Deville in a disappointing match. The entire bout felt awkward, and it was surprising given the caliber of the two women. But perhaps it's a sign that not all good wrestlers share good chemistry. Number 1. Best. An epic main event. The main event this week didn't disappoint. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus faced the Usos for the undisputed Tag Team Championship. This felt like it was the closest that the Usos had gotten to losing the titles, with several incredible false finishes. Unfortunately, it's clear that the Usos aren't losing the titles until WrestleMania 39 this year. However, it was still a banger of a main event that the challengers should be proud of. Internal meeting at WWE following Vince McMahon's return. Shockwaves were sent throughout the WWE universe yesterday when it was announced that founder Vince McMahon would return to the company's board of directors. We now have new reports on what transpired during today's company-wide meeting. News first broke of McMahon returning to WWE yesterday. Reports stated that the 77-year-old billionaire intended to rejoin the company's board of directors for the purposes of potentially facilitating a future sale of the company. This propelled some fans into an instant panic, with many fearing that any creative progress made in the Triple H regime would be undone. However, reports are now saying that the message from the top brass to all employees is simple: business as usual. According to Fightful Select, today's company meeting did not include any WWE superstars or other on-screen talent. The outlet stated that those who led the discussion stressed that day-to-day operations at the company would not change. The session was led by co-CEO Stephanie McMahon, President Nick Khan, and CFO Frank Riddick. Furthermore, the report notes that those who led the meeting spoke in depth about Vince McMahon's current stake in the company as a controlling shareholder and the possibility of a sale and negotiation of a media rights deal. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, the company expressed how a sale could be a positive thing. It was noted that the WWE sale could be a huge positive, and that they would be looking at potential sale offers before negotiating the rights fees. Vince McMahon will get final say. They said a sale might not happen, and the company could be taken private if there's a sale. Sean Ross Sapp, Twitter. Vince McMahon voluntarily stepped down and retired from his position as CEO of the company in the summer of 2022. This happened amidst ongoing investigations into allegations of hush money paid to an ex-WWE employee. It should be noted that WWE stock had surged at the start of trading this morning, finishing off at a nearly 17% increase. Are you excited about Mr. McMahon coming back to WWE? Do you think things will change? Let us know in the comments section below. 2 people have already resigned from WWE after Vince McMahon's return. Vince McMahon being reinstated to the WWE board of directors has sent shockwaves across pro wrestling and also within the company. WWE's official press release confirmed the departures of Ignis Lahoud and Manjit Singh, who both resigned from the promotions board in the wake of McMahon's return. The 77-year-old veteran has used his stakeholder power to force his way back into the WWE corporate setup. and there is obvious concern about whether it will impact the creative operations. The motive behind Vince's return is said to be purely business-related, and his presence has already led to a few exits, as WWE confirmed. Ignis Lahoud and Manjit Singh have resigned from the board, effective today. As revealed by Sean Ross Sapp, Manjit Singh spearheaded the investigation into the hush money allegations against Vince McMahon. Singh was a well-known media executive who worked for Sony Pictures Entertainment before being elected to WWE's board of directors in 2018. Ignis Lahoud, CEO of Majid Al Futtaim, joined the board as an independent member in 2022. While this has not been explicitly mentioned, the two high-profile resignations might have a lot to do with VKM's resurgence, which has visibly led to significant changes to the board. Lahoud and Singh weren't the only high-ranking officials to leave the board, as Mr. McMahon removed 3 other members to expedite his comeback. WWE's statement confirmed that McMahon exercised his power as the controlling shareholder to oust Alan M. Wexler, Joel M. Lyons Dillon, and Jeffrey R. Speed. Former co-presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios were brought in to replace the outgoing members, as Vince also successfully regained his spot on the board. Vince McMahon, in his capacity as controlling shareholder of the company, has removed Joel M. Lyons Dillon, Jeffrey R. Speed, and Alan M. Wexler from the board. Vince McMahon, George Barrios, and Michelle Wilson have been added to the board to fill the resulting vacancies, read the company statement. Backstage update on the person playing Bray Wyatt's Uncle Howdy. The cryptic Uncle Howdy has been everywhere since former world champion Bray Wyatt made his triumphant return to WWE at Extreme Rules. Uncle Howdy made his first appearance inside a WWE ring on last week's episode of SmackDown, attacking Wyatt shortly after he accepted a pitch-black match against LA Knight at Royal Rumble. There has been a lot of speculation about who the grim character is. While it is yet to be revealed who is behind Howdy's mask, WWE is playing it close to the vest of Uncle Howdy's true identity, according to Fightful Select. In fact, the person in the outfit is kayfabing people backstage, even going so far as to keep his outfit backstage, so the wrestlers and staff don't see his face. Fightful has stated that they have repeatedly inquired about the character's true identity. The person under the mask doesn't take it off backstage in front of other people to reveal themselves. Uncle Howdy first appeared on SmackDown on October 28, 2022. A shocking vignette intrigued the internet wrestling community, with many drawing conclusions about the identity of the creepy figure. Some have compared the mystery person's mask to Barry Windham, Bray Wyatt's real-life uncle. Another subset of WWE fans believes the mystical figure is former NXT champion Bo Dallas. Dallas is Bray Wyatt's real-life brother. During their FCW days, they were a tag team. In the past, the Eater of Worlds has reportedly lobbied WWE to rehire his brother. There have yet to be any updates on Dallas' likely return to the Stamford-based promotion as of this writing. On last week's SmackDown, the person wearing Howdy's mask also had a beard. Hence, it is unclear whether Triple H will schedule a revealing angle for the mystery man soon. Who do you think is behind Uncle Howdy's mask? Sound off in the comments section below. Roman Reigns' astonishing record mocked. WWE superstar Seth Rollins took to Twitter to react to Roman Reigns' astonishing record. As Michael Cole highlighted in commentary on SmackDown, the Tribal Chief lost his first match in over 3 years via pinfall or submission last week on the Blue brand. Reigns and Sami Zayn were on the losing end against Kevin Owens and John Cena. KO picked up the victory for his team after delivering a stunner to Zayn. The last time the Bloodline leader suffered a clean loss was in December 2019 against Baron Corbin. Since then, he has suffered 2 DQ defeats, with one match ending in no contest. Seth Rollins, who handed Roman a loss via disqualification at Royal Rumble last year, shared his thoughts on Twitter. The Visionary highlighted that his former stablemate's record exists only with specific parameters. Outside of a disqualification, Seth tweeted, "The Bloodline kick-started this week's edition of SmackDown by causing chaos at ringside." Roman Reigns then made his way to address his latest loss. The Tribal Chief highlighted that he did not lose, and Sami Zayn got pinned. Reigns even teased betraying the honorary use before Kevin Owens interrupted him. The prizefighter highlighted that Roman's problems are with him, and they should solve those inside the squared circle at Royal Rumble. The match was later made official. Later in the show, Roman Reigns called Zayn into his locker room. The Tribal Chief apologized to his fellow stablemate, stating that his real issues were with Kevin Owens. The undisputed WWE Universal Champion then gave the honorary use a chance to redeem himself for last week's loss by putting him in a match against Owens on the upcoming edition of SmackDown. WWE has been teasing a betrayal from the head of the table for the last few weeks. If KO hands Zayn another loss on the Blue brand next week, it could have massive repercussions for the master strategist. Roman Reigns disgusted by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's celebration after the Usos win over Drew McIntyre and Sheamus is currently going viral on wrestling Twitter. On the latest episode of SmackDown, the Usos took on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus with the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles on the line. The lengthy battle ended with the Usos picking up a huge win over the two former champions. Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman were watching the match in the Bloodline's room. As soon as the Usos won the contest, the Honorary Use kicked off an over-the-top celebration that involved throwing a lot of popcorn around, much to the disgust of the Tribal Chief. Zayn's celebration and Reigns' reaction to the same received loads of hilarious reactions from fans on Twitter. The final episode of SmackDown of 2022 saw Roman Reigns and Sami losing a tag team match to John Cena and Kevin Owens. Zayn was quite sure that the Bloodline would emerge victorious when all was said and done, but things didn't turn out that way. Roman Reigns wasn't happy with Zayn guaranteeing a win and then being pinned in the end. Reigns suspected that Sami was eyeing his spot and asked him if he wanted to be the Tribal Chief. An unhappy Reigns yelled at the Honorary Use in front of the live crowd before Kevin Owens came out and interrupted the segment. Later in the night, Zayn attempted to apologize to the undisputed Universal Champion and made it clear that he wasn't trying to take Reigns' spot. In a big twist, the Tribal Chief told the 38-year-old that he's angry at the prizefighter and taking his frustration out on him instead. He proceeded to apologize to Zayn for the same, much to the latter's surprise. In the end, all seemed well and good as the Usos picked up a massive win, and the Honorary Use was elated beyond what Reigns could imagine. The Tribal Chief certainly didn't seem happy with Zayn throwing popcorn all over his room, though. Did you enjoy Sami Zayn's celebration on SmackDown? What would be your reaction if, when the Bloodline turns on him? Cody Rhodes returning to dethrone Roman Reigns. Wrestling veteran and former WWE employee Dutch Mantel recently picked Cody Rhodes to possibly be the man to take down Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. During the latest episode of SmackDown, WWE aired a vignette on the American Nightmare, showcasing how the second-generation superstar returned at WrestleMania 38. The video package also put Rhodes over as a Braveheart for fighting inside Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins with a torn and badly bruised pectoral muscle. On the latest episode of Smack Talk, Mantel was asked who did he think could dethrone Reigns, and he said that with the way WWE was pushing Cody Rhodes, a case could be made that he could win the Royal Rumble and go on to dethrone Roman Reigns. He stated that being injured made the American Nightmare a bigger star, and he is a huge babyface in the company. These are touching vignettes they're doing on him. He's got Dusty in there, he got hurt. So he's not just winning, he's winning for everybody else. He is what you call a white meat babyface, and they could really get some heat on him. I think Cody's worked his BTT off. I had fear first when I heard he was coming, that was with the old regime. He would hit it hot for a month and all of a sudden it would just tail off. Getting hurt probably did him a favor. While Roman Reigns may have an encounter with Cody in the future, he has to deal with a KO problem at the Royal Rumble. KO interrupted Reigns when he was scolding Sami Zayn in the ring after suffering a loss to John Cena and Kevin Owens on last week's episode of SmackDown. The prizefighter challenged the Tribal Chief to a match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, which the latter accepted, and the bout was made official. The premium live event will emanate from the Alamodome in San Antonio, TX, on January 28th. Do you think the Tribal Chief will retain the title against Kevin Owens? Sound off in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing